commercial.
I mean, he's like, yeah, no, she's not real. Well,
But I gotta find her.
Then are you crazy or not?
All right. Rick takes it.
Yeah.
Idiot Survivor of the Week.
Oh, I just talked you out of it?
You did, yeah.
Wow.
Rick takes it. Because if he didn't know he was psychotic, fair enough.
He sounds like John Nash out of A Beautiful Mind, except for he was like 80 years old and had a lifetime of electroshock therapy and medication helping him out. I mean, I don't think you're that lucid if you're having a psychotic break. Maybe our non-expert expert will weigh in on that.
Non-expert expert?
Yeah, you know, from last season, the guy that says, I'm no expert, I'm just a neurologist from...
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Right. Cool. I'm no professional.
Yeah. All right. Do we have some stuff to do before we get to listener feedback?
We do have a little bit of promo stuff. Again, I want to remind everybody for the contest, baldmove.com/contest. You can read all the official rules there. I think it's running until mid-March, so you got a little bit of time, but don't wait. We also have, sponsors by Audible.com this week.
Man, you butchered that.
Sorry.
Blame it on your voice.
I will blame it on my voice. But, we do appreciate them. They help keep the podcast free. It's always nice when they sponsor us. I'm actually a fan of their product. That new Whisper Sync that they've got.
Awesome.
I've been talking about it ever since you mentioned it, but it's really awesome. You get one of their audiobooks, and if you got a Kindle, you can keep the devices synchronized, so you can read at home, you can listen on the road, and it all keeps track of where you're at. You don't get lost. They got over 100,000 titles. I was going to make a recommendation on vacation a couple weeks ago. I'm a big fan of John Green, local Indianapolis native. He's big into nerd culture. He's the Don't Forget to Be Awesome guy. He's the Crash Course World History.
Yeah, that stuff. That series is good.
And I found out while I was down there that he's also an author. And I read his book, The Fault of Our Stars, it's actually young adult fiction.
It's fiction? I would assume it was a history book.
No,
honestly.
it's fiction. Okay. And I found it really, really good. It's like if you like the Hunger Games, but without violence. But it's got that kind of like smart, female protagonist and, late teenagers being smart. I think you would enjoy it. And they have that unabridged copy. And I think you had a recommendation as well.
Yeah, I got a better recommendation.
Oh, for a little bit more appropriate?
A little bit more appropriate.
Than a teen romance novel?
I would definitely... This is an audiobook that I listened to probably 5 years ago, and I don't know if Audible was even a thing back then, but they've got it on Audible.
Two versions.
It's called World War Z. And it's really, really good audiobook because it's narrated by tons of people. Do you have it up on your screen over there?
No, I know shut it down.
Mark Hamill is one of them.
John Turturro.
Rob Reiner is one of them. John Turturro is one of them. Just a ton of really good characters / voice actors portraying all these different parts from around the globe, talking about what it was like when the zombie apocalypse hit. Like what happened and how we fought them and how fast things fell and just everything you'd want to know. Like if you read the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks, then this is kind of like the story that happens behind the scene, or that's kind of like the logistics of it. This is kind of like the fiction of it.
Sure.
And it's really good. The voices are incredible.
And the best part, if you go to audiblepodcast.com/baldmove, you can sign up and get a free audiobook.
Yeah, you can
so
check
either
it out for
one
free.
of those. You check them out. If you don't like it, cancel. You don't pay nothing.
Nada.
Sweet.
Zip.
So thanks to Audible for that. We are a part of the Bald Move Network. To complete our promo little circle here, you can find all of our content, our TV coverage. We've got Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. We've got the weekly TV podcast where we talk about
really just girls now.
Girls and Justified.
That's pretty much it.
And we talk about other stuff we're watching, like we're going to be talking about House of Cards.
We can
tonight.
discuss a little bit. I saw the first 3 episodes of that. So
don't forget our new, affiliates, the Personal Arrogance guys out of Seattle this week, talking about their personal entourages, the return of categories.
Yes, my favorite segment.
Our favorite segment.
So funny.
Preschool for All, the Batman-less Justice League, which is heresy. Also, the Because Show, who has a Sibian update. I'll say no more. They talk about the Lay's Chips flavor finalists and introducing a new snapback service so you can use Amy's quick went to get
Yeah,
revenge.
she's got a logo and everything.
On people. Oh, really?
Up on
They're doing it up
Facebook.
right?
Yeah.
Finally, if you like Downton Abbey, give Kelly and Tom on Up Yours Downstairs, newest affiliate, covering all things Downton. So
And they do a hell of a job on Downton.
They do.
Way better than we did in our weekly cast.
They take the time. They talk about the history of it. They talk about the fashion and local customs. It's awesome.
You'll feel like you're living in the era.
They beat us. We're like, fuck it. We're not going to cover it. We're just going to we're going to see if they'll cover it for us. And they were gracious enough to do that.
Yep.
So we always appreciate reviews and ratings on iTunes. It's the single biggest thing you can do to drive traffic to our cast and help us grow the network, and we'd appreciate you doing that. And last but not least, use our Amazon affiliate link if you're buying stuff off Amazon at amazon.baldmove.com, or you can click on the banner at the top of our website. It's an easy way. If you're buying stuff on Amazon, please do it. It gives us a little bit of the profit. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps keep this podcast free. So everyone that does that, we appreciate it. And that's all of my whoring.
All right.
We're ready for feedbacking.
Yeah, let's get to the feedback. We start off this week with Juan T. And I apologize to everybody who I had to cut this week. Lots of emails. And we have another bona fide spoiler section this time.
Oh. I forgot to
maybe
kind of
just
talk.
as drunken as last time.
I forgot to talk that up last week because, usually I say it's like, hey, we got mega spoilers, but, I'm going to say it again. These spoilers are, there's always a chance they could be wrong, but they've been right like astonishingly amount of the time. And it's basically a synopsis of the episode.
Yeah, you also have to think 10 minutes into it, nothing's going to make sense. Mm-hmm. So really, if you just skip 10 minutes in, you'll be fine with the rest of it. All right, Juan T says, I have a theory about Ghost Lori. I think Lori is not completely dead. I think she's a zombie. You never see the body, and when Rick goes nuts and gutted the zombie where Lori died, you never see proof that he ate her. I think little ass kicker is going to be left unattended. Lori's going to find her and try to eat her, and Rick is going to have to kill Lori. Man, that's dark.
Yeah.
Zombie mama coming back to eat her baby. Ugh.
Well, you're the one that gets off on that shit, man. I'm squicked out by zombie moms and zombie babies. So
yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think that...
You don't think we'll ever see a zombie baby?
No, I don't think we're ever going to see a zombie Lori. We might very well see a zombie baby. I'm not looking forward to it. But God, I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like zombie Lori is not going to happen. They've gone... I mean, at this point, if they did bring her back, it'd be a cop-out. Because they've said so many times publicly that the fat zombie... was the remains of Lori in his belly.
Yeah.
And that Carl did shoot her. And, I don't really want to live in a world where Carl didn't shoot his mom. He copped out.
Yeah.
That would kind of reverse no small amount of his character development.
For sure. Although, I don't know that character development is a strong suit here. Deb writes in, the citizenry of Woodbury remind me of a coop full of chickens. They do a great deal of helplessly flapping and squawking, but seem to be unable to assess the situation and adapt to it. At this point in the zombie apocalypse, we would expect everyone to understand the danger of honking horns and milling about in confusion, as though they have no memory of the chaos beyond the barricade. Every single one of them should have been aware that the only way to deal with the bite victim is with a bullet to the head, yet they all freak out when somebody takes this necessary measure. All the indecisive weaklings and idiots should have been zombie food long ago, yet here's a town full of them. Could it be that this particular crowd has been culled of its alphas in order to guarantee the governor a docile sheep-like populace?
Yes. I'm
so
pretty
a
sure
little
that's
conspiracy
exactly...
theory, but I think you're right.
No, I think that's exactly what's happened. And
yeah, we questioned that as soon as we saw this town and we saw the women in it and not a lot of macho dudes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like anyone that's outside of his band of psychos, which...
Yeah.
I wonder how he decides I'm going to let this guy live. There's
clearly a picking process because when Michonne came in and Andrea came in, he picked.
Yeah. So it's like, I think he culls out the strong and keeps the weak-minded and the weak, and he's got his little muscle, and he kind of rules that place like a tyrant king.
Spot on, Deb. Spot on. Mark says, I'm not sure if I want... Apparently, we mentioned the Rubes of Woodbury last time. He says, I'm not sure if I want Rubes of Woodbury to be the title of the next Mumford & Sons album or a Will Ferrell movie. I don't know which would be better. Probably a Will Ferrell movie. I'm not a big Mumford fan.
Mumford and Sons?
Yeah, everybody loves him, but meh.
I just want to know which one's the daddy.
Overplayed on the radio. Which one's daddy?
Yeah.
Mumford, obviously.
Well, but which one's Mumford?
Oh, which one of the guys? I don't know. David from Sydney says, anyway, which apparently means that I cut off part of his email. I was thinking the other day about how the writers have written Michonne's character. You know, her surliness and lack of dialogue. And you know what? I think she's the smartest actress in the whole show. I bet every week she has pages and pages of dialogue to say, and instead she just stares at the camera with her pissed off attitude because she knows if she starts saying those lines, her character's dead for sure.
They've got a squib off scene just waiting to go off.
As soon as she utters a line.
Right.
In fact, a few episodes back when they encountered that crazy man in his shack and she killed him as he was about to flee out the door, I think she knew that he was going out there to get her script and just had to be stopped. Pretty funny, Dave. David, I'm sorry. I don't want to shorten your name if you don't like that. Noel W. Not, we have two Noels now. Noels.
Noel's or Noel?
Yeah. I don't know.
One is a girl's name.
Noel. I can never tell.
Yeah, it's Noel. Noel?
Yeah.
It's Noel.
How would you spell Noel?
Knowl? Yes.
It's like something out of a Dungeons and Dragons book. It's like a monster you encounter in a temple.
I can't believe you're asking me to spell or pronounce anything.
Right.
Proceed, sir.
Fair enough.
Proceed.
Noel W. I really liked how the last 5 minutes it turned into a scene from Ghostbusters with Lori in her white dress. However, a couple points for debate. You said about Andrea sticking with the governor. Do you think she is doing this as a bluff and will turn on him? Any comment there? You think Andrea is sticking with him for
I think she's still
her own reasons?
She is kind of like where Michonne was when she was investigating. I don't think she's
when
got
she
her
saw the
doubts.
Bullet riddled
But she's still going to be torn between the people and doing what's best for her and doing what's best for the people of Woodbury and all that jazz.
For sure. You also mentioned about the roadblock in the car when Glenn smashed the walker's head in. That's where they were coming back from Woodbury and they got to the truck. I'm pretty sure Rick said to Glenn, get the brakes. So I'm guessing this is their own roadblock to stop people coming in?
I don't know. I'd have to watch it to verify that. You know, there's another one like the fucking bridge. The bridge in the middle of nowhere was congested, jam-packed with the Hispanic, the Latino family got hung up at.
There was like a...
But then when Daryl's like,
there.
fucking beat it, they just got it and drove right around. I mean, there's just a lot of convenient roadblocks in this.
For sure.
I think they're the editor's best friends. We really need them to stop having a conversation. I know. Have 15 random cars just blocking the road.
She also says, holy shit, I just realized Carl is wearing the exact same T-shirt in the Suicide Kings as he is in the picture for your podcast. Surely he has changed by now?
That's
wow.
that paw print's been around for a while, right?
It's gotta be a dirty shirt.
It's an iconic.
I mean, we've
shirt.
got Beth and Carol doing laundry though, right?
That's true.
So it's got to wear out sooner or later though.
Carol's a laundry master too.
Yeah. Plus, Carl's he's 12-year-old. He's probably not sweating too much, not stinking it up.
That's true. You don't really get funky till you hit
puberty. Yeah,
then it's like, oh fuck, I need a razor, I need deodorant.
What is this?
I need to start wearing boxers. What the fuck?
Staffa writes in. He says about Chad Coleman.
Hell yeah, Staffa.
I'm surprised in the last episode when you were going on about how amazing he is. Did we? Chad Coleman? He's,
I was like, I want him to be my boyfriend, basically.
You guys didn't mention that the man also has previous experience with zombies. Left 4 Dead 2, he was the voice of Coach.
Get the fuck out!
I thought I said this last half season.
Oh, maybe you did.
I thought so.
I only listen to
not.
like every other word you say. So
fair enough. Me too. Amanda D writes in, I had a revelation last week that after hearing your last cast, I felt I should share.
Ooh.
In Suicide King, when Rick is laying down the law to Michonne, he tells her that Herschel will patch her up, and then she's gone. The look on her face at this ultimatum was almost happy, and that's when Michonne's character finally clicked for me. She doesn't want to be part of Rick's group. And can you blame her? Rick started in on the bad cop routine as soon as she met him. And I'm sure Andrea told her all about his group during the 8 months together, which honestly may have made her decision to leave that much easier. That's pretty interesting. If you look at it as Michonne doesn't even want to be here with these people, it kind of takes a different tone, right?
And what would Andrea said about Rick? Because Andrea was totally on Team Shane.
And Rick had just ditched her.
Well, yeah.
From what she thought,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think she suspected any of them lived. She might have thought she was the lone survivor, you know? But no, that's kind of interesting.
Well, she told Merle that they left me there. I thought they had a conversation. Yeah.
I thought he tried to play that card.
Maybe he did.
Yeah. But anyway.
But I think it makes a lot of sense thinking about Michonne not wanting to be there.
I still think that that's consistently her... Because even Andrea's like, you've been bitchy to me this whole, 8 months we've known each other. You never really opened up. I just think that's her thing.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a nod to comic her, but honestly, comic Michonne is way more likable.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. A lot more personality.
Luke H. Hey, guys. Wanted to get your thoughts on what the title of this episode means. I kind of took it to mean that Rick was trying to conjure his home, in quotes, out of thin air through chasing apparitions from his pre-apocalyptic life. I'm trying to parse that sentence. I'm sorry. I suppose it also could apply to the governor's invasion of the group's home and the breakdown of the group's general sense of seeing the prison as a safe place to be. I like that take.
I think it refers to Daryl going home.
Yeah.
And both,
and the problems he had at home. When Merle reveals his back.
Right, and finding out where his true home is.
Yeah. He says also was Rick not the super soldier of the episode? After presumably no sleep and what appeared to be an all-day woodland adventure in the Georgia heat, he was able to hold off 2 or 3 walkers without a scratch, as well as the ability to slice through zombies with butter, or like butter, with the revolver slashes. Yeah, slicing through zombies with butter.
Well, he paid a price. His hair was never the same.
It's going to be greasy for weeks. They just don't have the shampoo that you need in the zombie apocalypse. The Head and Shoulders is a thing of the past. Graham H. It seems like everyone dies saving Carol. Yep, see, you stole the guy's thunder.
Sorry.
First T-Dog, now Axel. Daryl might want to avoid her. Ferzan? F-E-R-Z-A-N. I don't know how to say that. Ferzan.
Good bet
That's
that
all
I
I'll
know.
say. Did Carl have a line this episode? I think he was talking with Glenn a little bit. He says, I suppose he's handling his mother's death and father's psychotic illusion chasing just fine. No need to explore that. Are the writers even human? Have they ever felt?
I don't think he knows about that. Oh, yeah, he does know. Yeah, that's the other point I thought, and I brought that up last year, is that you're grieving over your mom and your dad's reaction is to, like, fall down and cry and then just get up and take off. You're going to remember that. And again, I think they will, I trust that they will make that pay off. Because I will be very pissed if they don't.
I think there are some issues, and hopefully they sort through them soon. He says, Axel, while his death was surprising, do the writers even plan these things out? They have this obvious system of developing characters only right before they die. Why? How are there 0 zombies near Rick the entire episode, but at the end there's swarms?
Yes.
Also a good question.
Very good
Although
question.
gunfire has a magnetic effect for zombies. And has there ever been a worse shootout in the history of media? Arnold's guns blazing scene in Commando made more sense than this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
More effective, too, because at least when Arnold was waving a machine gun around with one hand, there was literally like 50 dudes dying from it when they cut to him,
Didn't you... What was the quote that you've sent me on IM today? You said something.
So like last week's episode drove Andy Greenwald, who's the in-house writer for Grantland, TV critic, he said, I'm done. I'm not covering this fucking show anymore. And they turned it over. I guess there's going to be a rotating list of guest bloggers to cover it. And David Jacoby, who, I don't know, some dude at Grantland, he's one of Bill's friends. Okay. He wrote on how this is his guide to successfully watching a Walking Dead. He says, take your brain out. To appreciate the televised zombie apocalypse, you must first make a zombie of yourself. You can't be like Andy Greenwald. You can't think about story development, character, continuity, performances, showrunners, sets, logic. You can't think at all. This show isn't about thought. This show is about bullet holes in zombie faces, samurai swords and zombie skulls, gore, violence, and general badassery. Last night's The Walking Dead was not unlike last night's All-Star Game, talking about the NBA All-Star Game. There was no discernible strategy at play. There were long lulls between short bursts of captivating action. There was no soul, but both televised events were thoroughly entertaining. Let's recap this shit.
So he sums up the entirety of the zombie genre, right?
But the thing is this show used to aspire for more.
It portends to be more than that.
And
sure.
I guess is season 3 a war for the show's soul? Is it going to go to be the more deliberate, thoughtful, artsy season 1? Is it going to go more jam-packed action, season 3?
I think season 4...
How the hell are we going to know? They got a whole new staff running this shit.
That's what I'm saying. I think season 4 will be... If they ever keep a showrunner longer than one season, then we will know how they mean the show to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they haven't fired everybody working on the thing, so they must at least tolerate it.
Right. But, I mean, it's not because the show's not successful. I don't know. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, I really don't know what they're doing, honestly. Katie and Philly, a few quick observations and notes. Giving Michonne the easiest bit of personality and depth was a pretty significant payoff. If she continues to creep out of her shell in the backstretch here, I might be able to overlook her annoying reticence in the first 9 episodes. I was going to ask you.
I was going to say running. I mean, she was badass running around in the field with that katana.
But she's always badass. I mean, she's been chopping zombies since day one.
Yeah, but that was a nice long, 7 samurai take of her slicing and dicing.
Yeah. Oh, and I like the camera. How it was just felt like it was struggling to keep up with her.
Yes.
It was very cool.
They do, when they're not being lazy and cheap about it, do up action right.
I got to say, there are some lazy and cheap things about this show as well. I mean, we talked about the smoke and daggers scene last time. This time, that wall in front of Woodbury felt very cheesy to me.
Sure.
Like this was a set that was meant to look much bigger than it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you gotta spend your money where you spend your money.
Sure.
And I think there's mostly spending your money smart.
Yeah.
They probably should have spent a couple more grand on the season opener, in my opinion, to make that rescue a little bit more dramatic.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
you got to pick your
possibly.
battles when you're spending this much.
You
money.
say season opener, I'm thinking about 301.
The mid-season opener. Or
What happened in 301? Okay. Shitty Bow Girl has been replaced by a snarling, backless shirt lady who certainly has no love for Andrea.
She's got no back. Really? I didn't
know.
No,
I think she had a back to her shirt. It was
Okay.
just like flesh tone.
Oh, okay.
I was sad that we didn't get to see more of the Woodbury mob. They cracked my shit up last week. Yeah, I do kind of like to see the Woodbury people just floundering around.
Right. And just in their station wagons. We want out of this place of relative plenty. We had
Yeah.
ice last week and now a person died. What the fuck?
Also, she says, did you see Stone Cold Carl's face in that gunfight? He makes Clint Eastwood look skittish.
Yeah.
He's
Bringing the thunder.
I'm impressed with that kid. Daniel W. Not Daniel W.B., not the professional podcast critic. When Myrtle mentions to Daryl that he tried to kill that Chinese guy, Daryl corrects him and says that Glenn is Korean. Myrtle responds with whatever. Mm-hmm. In the season 1 episode, Vatos, Daryl calls Glenn Chinese. Glenn corrects him and says he's Korean. Daryl responds with whatever.
Ah.
Pretty good callback.
Very nice. Very nice.
He goes on to say this conversation and callback shows how far Daryl has come without Merle's influence and shows how Merle has not changed. Great episode, but at this point, Andrea could drink a bottle of drain cleaner and I would not care. I love to hate Merle, but Andrea is not well written and I don't care about her anymore. Fair enough. Tyler from the UK. I've been looking for an episode to top The Walking Dead's pilot for a long time now.
No.
Did Home do that? No.
I was going to say, what the fuck? I'm calling it into a cast.
Was it a great episode? Yes. The scenes we got between Daryl and Merle were well handled. Herschel made every scene he was in brilliant, including Rick's breakdown. Michonne finally took some steps towards being a team player, and the final scene at the prison was one of the best in Walking Dead history. The only real problem I had was where the hell did Tyrese go? Yeah. So we didn't discuss that at all. Like, Tyrese just fell off the map.
Right. That would have been another good way to reintroduce him to
get
group
the governor
if,
out.
If,
Yeah.
if that group had come in at the same time, the Dixon boys, and made some kind of sacrifice.
Could have integrated him
Not
into the group,
literally.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Pimby says, maybe you guys can also address an interesting point I picked up in an interview with David Morrissey. It says he is signed on with a 5-year contract Is this normal for Walking Dead cast members just to be taken out at any point, or does this allude to him surviving this season? You did the briefest of research.
I did a little bit of research, and I came to the conclusion that for a series regular, someone that gets,
millions of dollars,
the title sequence credit, that it's a 5-year deal is kind of like standard.
Yeah, and they may or may not kill you off before then. There's
Right.
nothing set in stone, but...
Right. But, yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, they do a lot of stupid things just for contract. The reason that they're considering this one season instead of 2 separate seasons is to make the contracts and the budget work. So they play creative games like that all the time.
Yeah. Aaron in Hawaii says, I noticed this on my second viewing of The Walking Dead home. When Merle rips Daryl's shirt away and we can see a scarred back, the tattoos on Daryl's back are on the right. But a few seconds later, as Daryl is walking away from Merle, we see his tattoos have switched sides and now are on the left. I rewound just to make sure that he didn't have tattoos on both sides of his back, but nope, just one side. Yeah, sometimes in editing they'll flip shots.
Yeah.
And I assume that's what it was.
That doesn't bother me. Like I said, because I know that's the way it works. But
yeah,
the blood being on the hands and not on the hands is...
It breaks the illusion a little bit, but I usually let things like that go.
Right. And suppose that's all Norman Reedus, too. I found out those are his real tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have any special show tattoos.
I thought you meant that body.
That is also all Norman Reedus.
Ryan from SLC. I guess I might have been under the influence of very low expectations after listening to your drunk spoilers last week.
You're welcome.
Because I was expecting this episode to be a hot mess. But I have to say there was something about this episode that really, really worked for me. Minus the weird exchange between Maggie and Glenn. I thought that was good. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there was a moodiness and tension that really kept me hooked on this episode.
Yeah, minus, for me, all the parts with Rick, I thought this was a great this was a solid episode.
Yeah, I certainly
and the scene between Merle and Daryl was just awesome. I'm actually very invested to see what he ends up doing because, honestly, it's going to be hard for... I would just assume Merle this was like a plan of the governor's all along, maybe.
To get Merle into the camp, into the prison?
But now it's like, Merle resisting going back, it seems it could be very hard for him to go back to the governor and screw over his brother and all these people at this point now, too.
Yeah, but imagine how much damage they could probably do to the governor with Merle's help. I mean, what does he know?
He knows everything about the city and the weak spots and,
So they've got a valuable asset here.
He likes to get drunk and stoned at night when they're supposed to be on guard duty.
Yep. I assume he'll play that card at some point. He's got to if he wants to stay in this group.
So you think? Do you think Merle's arc is going to be one of redemption this season, where he dies in some kind of noble sacrifice? I mean, or do you think he's going to be integrated into the crew, or do you think he's going to?
My prediction is he'll be
them,
reluctantly integrated into this group.
And he'll be on for here on out.
Because Michael Rooker is too good of an actor not to be in this show.
I discount that possibility.
I'm just hoping.
All right. Fair enough. I like him too, so.
Yeah. All right. Sheil, who says that he is not a girl. We must have called him a girl last time. I thought Sunday's episode was very good. I've heard criticism about how slow the story went until the last 10 minutes, but I thought it helped the story and was well acted. Okay. So... the story in the episode and also the story overall he's talking about. However, how could Rick's group let Tyrese and his crew go? They kicked them out because Rick went Looney Tunes? Somebody should have said, stay in this room over here until he calms down because we fucking need you guys. But just to let them go because their leader is acting totally out of character does not make sense. Yeah, I'm surprised Herschel didn't have more to do with that. Although... it was kind of panicked at the moment. It was like, Rick is off the fucking rails and he's got a gun.
Yeah.
You need to go.
But seriously, where do you think those guys went?
I don't know. They probably just ran away from the prison. And they've got to come back. Yeah, they have to come back.
Clearly.
But when is the key.
Yeah.
Anthony B., have either of you watched, I don't know how to say the name of the show, The Borgias?
The Bourgeois?
Is it Bourgeois? Is that how you say that?
No, I know. That's the one about...
Borgias.
It's got, doesn't it got Jeremy Irons in it?
Borgias.
Yeah, it's some... I don't know. I know what show you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. He says it's one of his favorite shows. It probably doesn't have a strong enough audience podcast on it. Just wanted to know if you guys had an opinion. Do you have any opinion?
I have an opinion.
I haven't seen any of it.
There's like we were briefly talking about like being worried about what we would cast about when like Breaking Bad rotates off because it's the last season. But man, I keep hearing like lots of love for a lot of different shows, and The Americans just came out, and everybody's got a lot of buzz about that. So
I definitely want to get through House of Cards before anything else because I'm 3 episodes in now, so why not just keep going?
I polished that off this weekend.
10 hours? That's one day of watching. I can do that.
Yeah, you can power through it.
Polish it off in a weekend. Okay, that's it, man.
Cool.
We're done with the feedback. We've got to go to the outro, which you kind of already did.
No. If you want to send us more feedback and just drown us.
No, don't drown us.
Just
I'm doing the
drown
feedback
us.
now. Aaron doesn't care if you drown us.
Do so at watchingdead@baldmove.com. You can like me on facebook.com/baldmove and follow Jim on twitter.com @baldmove.
As a matter of fact,
we live
don't do
Facebook,
any of that
we
other
live
stuff.
tweet.
Just follow me on Twitter because I'm 600 followers behind Aaron at this point, and I'm doing all the work for this show now.
Yeah, right. You should have been live tweeting every
Aaron
week.
just shows up with a grip of whiskey. That's all he does.
I didn't even do that. I just got a beer. New
Weak.
Belgium snow day. Not too many days left to drink a winter ale, so I'm trying to
Fair
polish
enough.
them all off. And last but not least, tell a friend. That's actually should go in the promotion section. But whatever.
Yeah. All
We're
right.
friends. The people who made it this far, we're all friends. So tell a
Yeah.
friend.
And next time we have a meetup, we'll let you know. So you can come meet us and actually be our friends.
Yeah. We got super duper spoilers coming up after the spoiler music.
All right. And that's it. So until next time, when we're back with 311, I'm Jim.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're back with the spoiler section. Go ahead and run the promo for next week.
On the next episode of AMC's The Walking Dead.
You should stop.
Stop what?
Getting the leader. I'm going to see them.
You go to that prison. Stay there.
There's barely any food or ammo.
He's your brother, but he's not good for you.
Get back here! And do something. That's far enough! Some dangerous people out there.
For a longer look at the next episode.
Ooh, disgusting looking eye. It's going to be Carl versus Herschel. Next episode, fighting over whether or not Rick should be the leader. You should stop being the leader. Get back here and do something.
Do we have anything to read but the spoiler emails?
No, we just had massive synopsis of next week.
All right. Thanks to both Jesse B. and
Jasper.
Jasper, who I called Theodore Douglas. I didn't catch that he was making a T-Dog joke.
No, I called him that because I did feedback last week, and I
you
fucked it up.
Dumbass. Anyway, here we go. This is a long haul. Settle in, grab a beer
Oh, boy.
or beverage of choice, and let old Aaron tell you a story. The group is in the cell block planning their next move. Merle is locked in one of the cells. Rick doesn't want to leave, while Herschel and the women want to leave. Glenn says if Rick says they ain't leaving, then they ain't leaving. Merle says they are fools for not leaving last night when they had the chance. That truck through the fence thing, hell, that was him just ringing the doorbell. Merle thinks the governor has every area covered, and if he wanted to, he can just sit and wait for them to starve to death. Herschel says, I wanted to leave before, now Axel's dead. Who else has to die? Rick glances at Herschel, then turns around and walks out.
Glances. We're reduced to glances here in the spoilers.
Herschel yells at Rick to get back here, and Herschel tells him to clear his head and do something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they seem like they're really quick to abandon the prison. Like, you know, they fought hard to get it, and it's a pretty defensible position. What the hell?
Yeah, you would think it's very defensible.
Maybe they don't run off every awesome badass that they come across.
Yeah.
Rick goes outside and surveys the area. Through his binoculars, he sees for a split second movement in the trees. Merle was right. Or is it Lori? Carl comes over to Rick and suggests he should stop being the leader. Milton and the governor back in Woodbury are going over the records of all the people. So far, they have listed 20, able-bodied ones, but if they include the sick and impaired, their number is brought up to 26. The governor suggests they include men and women 13 and up. Milton says, you mean boys and girls? The governor states that adolescence is a 20th century invention. They are all men and women. Martinez is to arm and train them, which brings their number to 35. So there, that puts
35.
a nice bow on it.
That's a lot.
Andrea walks in demanding to know why the governor lied. He tells her that he went to negotiate because not only does he have biters at the gate, he can't have aggressors miles away. He then claims Rick Group fired first and that they are bloodthirsty. She doesn't believe it and declares that she will not stand by as her friends gun each other down. The governor tells her it's too late. Andrea wants to go to prison. He says if she goes to prison, she should stay there. Herschel, Rick, Glenn, and Daryl are discussing how they're going to clear the walkers in the yard and seal up the gate. They're going to need the ammo, so shooting the walkers is out of the question. Daryl's confident a job could be done, but Glenn says that is before there was a snake amongst them. Daryl makes it very clear that Merle is staying and there's no talking about it, and storms off. Rick tells Glenn that he can't kick Merle out. Glenn strongly objects and says to Rick, I wouldn't ask you to try and live with Shane after he tried to kill you. Oh, no, he didn't.
Yep.
Glenn then suggests they kill two birds with one stone, giving the governor his traitor as a peace offering. Rick nods his head. Merle is in a cell securing his knife to his arm. Herschel comes in and they are formally introduced to each other. Merle says, when the governor returns, he's going to kill me first, then Michonne, then my brother, then your girls, then Glenn, Carl, the baby, and whoever else. But he's going to save Rick for last so he can see his family and friends die. That's who you're dealing with. After that heartwarming scene, Carl goes to Daryl's cell and tells him, hey, I'm glad you're back. He says, back to what? Carol says the prison is their home. Daryl says it's a tomb. Carol looks down and says, that's what T-Dog called it. At one point I thought he was right, but then you found me.
What? I don't know who's speaking to who at this point. So T-Dog is speaking to Daryl? Is that what I'm getting?
Oh, I'm moving on. Andrew is observing the front gate and how it is completely sealed at Woodbury. Nobody gets in or out. Andrew asks Milton to swear he knew nothing of the prison attack. Milton says he would never advocate a move like that. Andrew believes him and asks him to cover for her because she's going to the prison and the governor can't know. Milton asks her not to go, to not put him in that situation. Milton sees this as a betrayal, but Andrew tells him it's to put an end to the bloodshed. The governor is sitting in a dark apartment looking into a mirror. After a knock on the door, the governor puts his black eye patch on for the first time. Like Vader putting his mask on.
Yep.
Milton enters the room and is reporting that Andrea has full intentions of going to the prison and she has asked Milton for help. The governor says, help her. The plot twist. A walker lurks in the woods. Andrea is hiding behind a tree and Milton behind another one. Finally, Milton gets the walker's attention. Andrea comes up behind the walker. Bam! Knocks him down. As Milton holds down the walker, Andrea chops off its arms with an axe. She then gets a rock and positions the struggling walker's mouth over the rock and stomps on the head twice, performing what is called the Michonne. She knocks out its teeth and crushes its jaw. With a wrangling device, they're able to hold and keep the walker close like Michonne did with her pets.
Oof.
I just think like post-apocalyptic gene commercials with wranglers.
Nice.
The commotion has brought other walkers to them. Andrew begins to hack away at the axe, but one gets in close before the walker can attack. Tyrese comes out of the bush and puts a hatchet to the walker's head.
Tyrese is back.
Tyrese is back.
Just the right time.
He comes face to face with Andrew and Milton. Michonne is doing push-ups and sit-ups at the same time when Merle approaches her. He wants to clear the air. Hunting her down was just business. Just carrying out orders, sweetheart. Mm-hmm. He has done things he ain't proud of. Merle walks away as Michonne continues her workout in silence. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Milton explains to Tyrese's group what they're doing with their walker. Alan asks if they have a camp. Milton and Andrea look at each other. Sasha confirms it's just them and their group. Andrea and Milton tell them they have a town that's walled and there's 70 of them. Tyrese and his group can't believe it. Tyrese asks if they take people in, and Milton says they do, and volunteers to take them back. Oh, yeah. He's going to go to the screamer pit if he does that.
Yep.
Andrea says if he asks, but Milton... what? Andrea says if he asks, but Milton interrupts her and says he'll handle it since he's better with the governor than he is with walkers. Sasha thanks him. Tyrese asks where Andrea is going if she needs any help. Andrea says she's fine and leaves. Andrea and her walker approaches the prison. Carl and Maggie are in the tower lookout when she sees somebody. Maggie looks and recognizes Andrea. She tells Carl to get Rick and the others. The group comes running out. Rick, Daryl, and Merle taking an almost military formation. Rick yells to Andrea and asks if she's alone. She says open the gate as walkers around are closing in on her. Rick repeats the question. Everyone in the prison is in position. Weapons drawn. Andrea screams for Rick to open the fucking gate. Except for she doesn't say fucking.
No, probably not.
They let her in, but quickly subdue her. Rick frisks her and repeats his question. Andrea, shocked by his treatment of her, says she is. She is stripped of her bag and weapons. Rick coldly tells her, welcome back. So this kind of subtly feeds into the governor's story. Rick and his friends are a bunch of fucking hotheads.
Yeah.
Inside the prison, Andrea and Carol hug. Carol says after Andrea saved her, she thought she died. Andrea's shocked to see Herschel on one leg. She looks around and asks, where's Shane? No one answers. Lori. Herschel explains she had a girl. She didn't survive. They all had a fiesta. Maggie informs her of T-Dog's fate as well. Andrea expresses her sorrow and reaches out to Carl, but he steps back. Andrea asks if they live in the prison, and she would like to see it. Rick will not allow it. Andrea states she's a friend, not an enemy. Rick tells her that they had the field and the courtyard until her boyfriend tore down the fence with a truck and shot them all up. Andrea tells him that the governor told her Rick shot first. Rick calls him a liar. Rick calls her a liar. I guess the governor a liar. Because everyone knows Greedo shot first. Herschel tells her that they lost a man, a prisoner who survived in there. Daryl says everyone liked him. He was one of them. Andrea insists that he didn't know anything about the attack. She didn't even know that they were in Woodbury until after it all took place, and she came as soon as she could. Nobody believes her. Andrea turns to Michonne and asks, I gotta say, I love the spoilers, but can we get this edited for content?
Yeah, maybe
Take
a little.
pity on poor Aaron here. Andrea turns to Michonne and asks what she told them. Michonne says nothing, which is the God's honest truth. Andrea doesn't understand how she was in Atlanta with them, and now she's the odd man out. Glenn says the governor tried to kill Michonne and almost him and Maggie. Andrea points to Merle and says he had the finger on the trigger. He was the one who kidnapped and beat Glenn. Andrea cannot explain what Philip has done, but she's trying to bring everyone together. Rick said there's nothing to work out and they're going to kill him. Andrea says there's room in Woodbury for everyone. Merle chuckles and says to Andrea she knows better than that. Herschel asks if the governor said he wants to negotiate. Andrea said no, she came because he is gearing up for war. Daryl tells Andrea the next time he sees her boyfriend, tell him he's going to take his other eye. Ooh, Daryl.
Nice.
Glenn says they've been taking shit for too long. The governor wants a war. He's going to get one. Andrea turns to Rick and tries to reason with them. Rick said the only way he can make this right is to get them inside Woodbury. Andrea refuses, and Rick storms off. Andrea and Michonne are walking outside. Andrea accuses Michonne of poisoning them, to which Michonne replies she just told them the truth. As Andrea walks away, Michonne tells her the governor sent Merle to kill her, stopping Andrea in her tracks. She would have been sent to kill Andrea too if she had left with Michonne, but Andrea didn't leave. Michonne is the one walking away while Andrea is still shocked and crying. The governor enters a medical room in Woodbury and tells Tyrese's group that they are welcome to stay as long as they want and there's plenty of food and clothes for them. As the governor is leaving the room, he says when they're ready to leave, head west, but to stay away from the north. They inform them they just came from there and ran into some whack job in a prison. The governor stops dead in his tracks, turns and says, "You saw him?" Ben says if the town needs help with these guys taking them out, that they are in. The governor insists that he cannot ask for them to fight his fight, but Tyrese says they cannot go out there when anything can happen. They will do what they have to earn their keep in town. Carol and Andrea are talking. Carol brings up how Andrea has to do something about the governor. Carol suggests to Andrea she goes back in town, sleep with the governor, give him the best night of his life when his guard is down and he is sleeping to end this. Andrea doesn't know what to say. Glenn pulls into the courtyard with a car for Andrea. She asks Rick if they can spare the car, and he says, yeah, it's just a Hyundai. She nods goodbye to everyone and gets in the car. Rick walks over to the car and gives Andrea her weapons back and tells her to be careful. Andrea returns to Woodbury and walks into the governor's dark apartment where he's sitting in his chair listening to music. She tells him that she went to the prison. They are broken, living in terrible conditions. The governor asks why she came back. Andrea looks down. The governor stands up and walks over to Andrea, caressing her face, and tells her, because you belong here. She looks at him, and they kiss. Rick's group is sitting in the cell block together in silence as Rick paces back and forth holding Judith. Beth breaks the silence with song.
Doodlebug.
Again, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Daryl, Herschel, and Rick whisper in a conversation. Daryl asks what they should do about the governor, and Rick replies that they meet him head on. Rick's going to go on a run tomorrow. Daryl volunteers to go with him, but Rick says to stay and keep tabs on Merle. Rick tells Daryl he's glad he's back, but if Merle continues to cause problems, it is on you, Daryl. Rick is going to take Michonne and Carl. Ooh, Carl gets the nod. Andrea wakes up and gets out of the governor's bed while he remains sleeping. She walks over to her pants and takes out a knife. She slowly makes her way to the sleeping governor and puts a knife close to his neck. He remains sleeping. She stares at him for a few seconds. Then she puts the knife down and walks away from the sleeping governor to the window and stares out at the moonlight.
Could have ended it. Could have ended it all right there.
Yep.
All the bloodshed, just like you were talking about, Andrea.
Yep.
Boo. Boo on Andrea. All right, that was super long.
Well, we'll try to edit it down a little bit when we get the spoilers next time.
Yeah,
I don't think we need...
good.
I don't know. I'd like to hear feedback on it. Do people like the blow by Mega Blow, or are they looking for something a little bit lighter, or exactly what are they looking for?
Imagine it was funnier last week when we were drunk.
Well, the outline was funnier, too.
Yeah.
I just thought, anyway.
I don't know. You had some glances in here. Like, really,
So-
do we need to know about glances?
Yeah. So what do we... and I actually edited down a little bit anyway. What do we think about this? I actually think it's going to put an interesting spin on Michonne. It's going to put an interesting
About
spin on
Tyrese.
Andrea's dilemma. That, Rick is appearing to match the description of the crazy man, the governor. That, Tyrese and his group are now those badasses that could have gone to Rick's column, have gone to the governor's column.
Yeah, I like how they twisted that around. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if this is even accurate next week.
It sounds accurate. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound like there's no...
We've seen promos.
There's no
and-
Walt choke Skyler to death.
Yeah, we've only been wrong once. But hopefully that doesn't happen again.
And that was the Villigan being the Villigan.
Yep. All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next time.